All right, guys. So now that I have spent hours, and I mean hours, trying to figure out whether or not this, the PS Portal, the Nintendo Switch, or the Rogue Ally, basically which one is the better console. So far, I've been really connected to the PS Portal only because I love the screen on this thing and the games. Soul Calibur, I mean, I've been going nuts on this game. I've been playing these consoles, guys, like a crackhead, man. And no disrespect to crackheads out there, but I don't think anybody should be playing video games as much as I have today, just to see whether or not one console is actually better than another. But when you look at the PS5 or the PS Portal, I'm sorry, and obviously the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch will always be my favorite. I'm a Nintendo fan, so this will always be my favorite. But when you're talking about some of the other games, as you can see right here, if you look at like Mortal Kombat, Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six Vegas 2, Future Soldier, these are all games that basically I sort of grew up playing. You know what I mean? And these games are available on the PS5, I think, with the exception of the Ghost Recons. But, nevertheless, these are games that I've had played. You see that it says, PC games. And I also have them in disc form as well. So I have all the Ghost Recons, all the Rainbow Sixes, and that. And right now, what I'm actually doing is, if you see over here in this corner over here, I'm actually downloading Stalker 2, which I just noticed it's 145 gigabytes to download. So that's going to take a minute. As you can see where it's at right now, it's going to take a little bit. But I guess that's sort of the flip side on being able to play something like this, and basically streaming. I guess the streaming part of it is probably what you're going to want to do with even something like the Rogue Ally. I even got into the whole thing with handhelds that I even booted up. Look at that, guys. Old school Mario Kart for 3DS. Look how beautiful this console is. Look at this beautiful console, Cosmic Black. This is also available in my store, guys. So if you guys are interested in something like this, don't forget, check out Tiago's Gamers Club on eBay. Like I said, excellent prices. Everything that I have on there is going to be priced excellent. It's going to be clean. Discs are going to be clean. And consoles like this, if you look at it, it's a bit dusty right now. Obviously, you've seen the dust that I just removed. But if I, clean it off like this and, you look at it, there's literally like very, very little, actually really, really little scratches on it. But the gameplay and the screens are beautiful. But man, oh man, nostalgia, huh? How did we go from this to this? Mario Kart to Mario Kart. That is crazy, guys. Look at this. That is insane. I even tried out, my DS Lite, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so, when you look at everything that's here, that I got running right now, the OG Xbox is running right now, my 360 Gears of War edition is running right now. You know what I mean? I got to thinking, you're looking at these these consoles, right? These handhelds. So what if I told you that I even tested the Wii U? Now, I have it docked right now because I played it so damn much that I actually killed the battery. You know what I mean? But, what if I told you this bad boy right here, I actually put it even against the 3DS, the old school DS. Obviously, it's not going to do anything with the Nintendo Switch, but or the Portal or the Rogue Ally. But this is just nostalgia. Once again, a console back in the days, you know what I mean, that people, for whatever reason, did not really vibe with the Nintendo Wii U, and I'm not too sure why. As you can see, even the Super Mario Brothers on here, look how clean it is. To me, it was definitely an upgraded system from the Wii, you know what I mean, which I have right here, you know what I mean. But if you look at everything total, you know what I mean, this was a decent system, you know what I mean. This right here, look at it. I don't have to say much about it. I mean, the graphics were ridiculously good, you know what I mean. Gameplay was awesome, super easy to play, you know what I mean. If you ended up getting yourself a Nintendo Wii U Pro controller, obviously, if you didn't want to play with the gamepad, if it was dead, you can always connect it, and while it's charging, you can actually hit the TV button and play it off the TV, which, again, you kill two things in one stone, right? You had a gamepad, which was a portable gamepad, and then you had the console. How is this different right here than taking your Nintendo Switch and actually docking it? There's really not much of a difference. But I even went as far as throwing in my PSP, you know what I mean? Just to see whether or not, once again, you know what I mean, this is not about, whether or not a console is good or bad or whatever the case is, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But what I'm trying to do is to see whether or not something like the PSP, the 3DS, the Nintendo Switch, the Portal, yeah, I mean, the Rogue Ally, you know what I mean? Even going as far as I said with the Nintendo Wii U gamepad, you know what I mean? Which one was the, for me, the console that, I would personally enjoy playing at all times, you know what I mean? And gameplay, I would have to say, you're gonna have some seriously, seriously fire games on the PlayStation Portal. Personally, I like how easy it is to get into. I like that you can get in there and actually play, some PS5 games, some PS4 games. I just like the setup on this. If you want to talk about all around, I would still have to go, and I know this sounds crazy, with the Switch. Overall, the Switch is super nostalgic. In my opinion, has, some of the best games that you can play. Obviously more family friendly, more family oriented. This right here is probably, for me, this will always be the winner. And not because I'm a Nintendo fanboy, but because I think that this console it feels good in your hands. When you play it, it's just, everything is good. Even when you use the Joy-Cons in the, that black connector that it actually comes with the system. I actually like that versus getting, I got the Pro controller, the Super Mario one over there. I use that one when I'm docked and I'm using it off the TV. But besides that, I use it like this, or I take these off and use that little black connector that allows me to use it as a controller. I actually like that. It feels comfortable in my hands. So I really do like it. But this right here, guys, I get it, man. You want to play some hardcore, PS5 games, then here it is. You know what I mean? PS4 games, here it is. You know what I mean? This is the route to go. I know that a lot of people complained about the screen and the way the screen looked, and You know, the way the controls. But believe it or not, if you're holding it like this in front of you, and you can see it the way I'm holding it, that screen is literally perfect to my eyes. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to, you know, move it like this or move it back like this. It is perfect. I think that the way that they built this was you know, perfect for people who do handhelds. Yeah, I mean, and I like how this is. Now, if you was to, now I have this dock, so I'm not going to take it off until this actually downloads, and it's at 82%. So hopefully it'll download in a few. But if you take this one is straight across, right? So you have to hold it, you know, like this. But remember, look how my hands are. You see how the controller is a little bit behind this screen right here. I mean, that if I was to hold this like this, I mean, your hands would just, I mean, your hands would be hurting, you know, within the hour. But because you can hold it sort of at an angle like this, and I'm able to look at the screen head on, this is perfection as far as the way that the system is built. And I'm gonna tell you, the games on it, you know, like I said, I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan. And I love that this one you can play as Kratos. I think that's pretty damn cool. You know what I mean? You know, and, you know, again, I've tried several games on the Rogue Ally. I played Avowed. I tested Genshin Impact, a couple of Ghost Recon games, and now I'm going to actually look at this game here, Stalker 2. I actually just downloaded that because I got the disc as well on the Series X. You know what I mean? Bro, look at that Harry Potter, bro. That is off the OG Xbox. I actually have, if you can see it right there in front of me, a wireless controller with wireless adapter that connects to your Xbox. Shit is fire, guys. You know, you don't have to worry about wires and all that other bullshit. I mean, obviously, if you look around, I mean, look at all the shit I have, you know, screens and systems and consoles and all that shit. You know what I mean? The last thing you need is any more wires, you know, hanging in there. You know, love that little setup. I rearranged a little bit just to make some room from some new consoles and stuff like that. You know, like, you know, I just put, you know, I just reset and set up my 360 again, just to be able to test games and stuff like that. I got a lot of 360 games I need to test. So I tend to, you know, all of these games where you see right here, all of them need to be tested. So I have to test them and make sure that they all work. Right now, that is the Gears of War. I believe that was Judgment. I'm going to test that one. Harry Potter, I have not tested. I got it in there now. It looks fantastic. You can see it right now playing. Look how pretty that shit looks, guys. Oh, and by the way, man, welcome to the Man Cave. As always, guys, you know what I mean? I appreciate you guys visiting. But, you know, one of the, you know, literally, I mean, it was a dilemma for me, man. I was hitting these up, man, like I was a fucking crackhead, man. You know, reason why I'm making the video with my chest plate is because, not because I look like a crackhead right now, guys. I'm a hot mess right now. Obviously, it's early, and I've been doing this shit all night. But because I have to hold these like this to show you guys what these look like. Yeah, I mean, you know, hands down, bro. I just love, I love this console. I can't wait for the Switch 2 to come out in June. I'm gonna tell you, bro, the Switch 2 is gonna make a lot of noise, guys. A lot of noise. You got companies like Blizzard and Naughty Dog and, you know, other big name companies that are, you know, gonna, you know, collab and do some games for the Nintendo Switch. And, you know, how awesome would be to be able to play The Last of Us on this console. That would be fire, man. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That would make the Nintendo Switch 2 the console to have. Now, I did check out the specs and everything like that. If you have an OLED Switch, probably, you know, it's best to keep the OLED Switch. You know, obviously, you know, this console unbelievably still costs about $300. You know what I mean? The OLED Switch. And then the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be starting at about $450. And if you get the game, the new Mario Kart World, which looks amazing, you're all, you know, I think that one's like $500 starting, and that's base rate though, $500 starting. But overall, you know what I mean, this to me is the console to have. If you're just trying to, pick up a console and, like if you can see right here, I got Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Brothers, and obviously for me, the GOAT of all the games for the Nintendo Switch, and that's Zelda Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I mean, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a killer. It is going to be a killer. It's going to be a console killer because the Series X obviously did not do well in sales. The PS5, I think they made a mistake launching the PS5 and then launching a slim PS5 and then launching a PS5 Pro. That's how they get you. You know what I mean? They want you to buy everything that's newest. Honestly, I have the PS5 Slim. I couldn't even tell you last time I booted it up and played a solid game on it. I've been more interested in just testing a lot of these consoles and testing some of these games. This right here caught my attention after the last video that I did where, I looked up the Reddit and, it showed that you can actually do this. And if you can see, I like to boot it up and do this with the games, like let it play through, because it just goes to show you that the connectivity to the stream itself is perfect. There's no hiccups, there's no delays, there's no pixelation on the games. I mean, it just looks fantastic. I mean, once again, love the way the setup is on here. I know that a lot of people complained about, the screen being awkward and all that. I think that the hand grip itself on the controllers is perfectly placed where it needs to be so that you can actually, play this game without actually having any issues like, any neck pain or anything like that, like I have right now. You know what I mean? Old school. I mean, come on, guys. How can you hate the original 3DS? And the 3D here, when you turn it on, obviously this is not a 3D game, but when you turn it on, still works, guys, still works. So, Mario Kart old school definitely works. Love it. You know what I mean? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, fantastic. One of the best games that you can play on there. And I'll be honest, somebody had mentioned, I should try to get emulators downloaded onto this console. And personally, I'm not against it at all. You know what I mean? I think it is if you love to go through all of that where you're actually, doing any type of hacks and, all that bullshit on PCs, this is the way to go. Yeah, I mean, I've said this a lot of times. When you look at the Steam Deck, you look at the Rogue Ally or any of them, even the Lenovo ones, these are basically for people who love emulating, Nintendo and Sega and all that. And, when you get a good emulator and you can play those games, that's great. Yeah, I mean, would I rather play a Super Mario game on here or play it on here? There's no doubt that I will always pick the Switch over the Rogue Ally to play, Super Mario. Keep in mind that the Nintendo Switch 2 will have 4K settings. Most games will be at 1080p and 120 FPS. When I tell you that Nintendo is about to put a hurting on all these consoles that are out right now, that's exactly what they're going to do. I don't like the price, but do not sleep on the Nintendo Switch 2, because that's going to be a system that's gonna it's gonna hurt a lot of consoles. It's gonna hurt people who are into more of the Xbox or Microsoft or Rogue Ally or Steam Deck, or because again, you can get a game, or a system with the games that actually come for the system. Obviously, no other system can go ahead and go and buy a Super Mario game, obviously. So you're going to have to use emulators. Emulators are not 100%. You're constantly having to update. You obviously have to constantly look up for BIOS and folders and all that bullshit. And keep in mind, guys, that no matter how you look at it, that shit is illegal. But, if you're really going to have something like this, don't put an emulator on it to play Super Mario. That shit makes no sense. So if you're gonna have something like this, buy yourself a Switch, and get you got Super Mario, brothers. You have Super Smash Brothers. You got the Mario Karts. You have even the new Super Mario World. I mean, you have so many games that you can choose. There's no way to emulate that on here. You know what I mean? And if you can get it to emulate, how much of the game will you be able to play before it actually stops? Because I actually had a few issues with the, I think, what was it that I downloaded on it? Emu Deck. Yeah, I mean, and it had a bunch of issues with some of the BIOS that I downloaded, and it took me forever to do it. It wasn't worth the time that I put into, downloading the BIOS and any of the file folders. It was a ridiculous amount of time to enjoy, a 20-minute portion of the game that the rest just stopped playing. I was very disappointed in that, so I deleted, I reset everything, I went back and did everything again. And this is where we're at right now. Yeah, I mean, Stalker 2, it said that it was actually just finished downloading. And I'll try Stalker 2 on here, see how it plays. It's downloaded onto the system, so I don't see actually any issues with it. But man, oh man, I mean, look at this, handhelds everywhere, bro. I mean, seriously, bro. I literally did this. I was out here playing. I was all nervous and shaking. I was like a crackhead, bro, trying to play all these systems. You know what I mean? And which one did I like? Which one did I didn't? I wasn't really amused with. And I have to say it, man. I think that my first pick is going to be the Switch. I think my second pick is going to be the Portal right now. So I hope that PlayStation actually continues to work on that beta version and actually make it a cloud streaming service, not beta. I'm gonna tell you, and you know what? Add PS4, PS3, PS2, and PlayStation games on this shit, and this right here will eat up the Steam Deck. It's gonna eat up fucking, all these other handhelds. I will always be, the Switch fan, but to be able to play this on, Wi-Fi, not connected to the PS5 I got over there in the corner, man, that is exactly what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, what is the point of gaming if you're not going to game, right? But overall, this right here, I would say would come in my opinion, third. I'll be honest, if we were to add the Wii U gamepad with the console, this would be fourth. Yeah, I mean, once again, this has a great screen. Another thing that I realized too, when I was actually trying to play Genshin on this shit, the battery died within 20-30 minutes. My battery was already giving me warnings that the battery was going to die. I had to plug it in. I do not want to plug my console in and play it plugged in. Yeah, I mean, I think that the power that this has is a little bit too much for the battery. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play it, I got, basically an Xbox controller. If I turn it on, yeah, I mean, it's connected to this console right here. I already connected it to here. You know what I mean? To be able to play games. Now, I will tell you this. I turned this on to play Genshin on the Rogue Ally, and the controls were not what it was. So I had to go into the Genshin game, the actual settings, and change some of the settings in the Genshin game so that I can use the Xbox controller. I don't know if it's something with the Rogue Ally or maybe the way it's set up. I've actually did Genshin on my Steam Deck, and my Xbox controller actually worked without changing anything, so I'm not too sure why it didn't work on here. But literally the battery died within 20-30 minutes. To me, that shit is garbage. You know what I mean? You're spending $400 or $500 for a system like this for the battery to die within 30 minutes of you playing a solid game. So that bullshit that I see online, that this thing has so much power, so much battery, I have to be honest with you, that I did not see on the system. So I'll be honest with you, man. It's a great system. I'm going to try the Stalker on it. You know, you see that it's plugged in. You can hear the fan on it. It's plugged in. Everything's working on it. That's why you got the keyboard and the mouse. So nothing here is running off of just the battery here. It is plugged in, so it's running off the dock. All that power is running from the dock. But, you know, when you look at it, you know what I mean? I can look at this and check the battery on this, and you can see this bad boy still full. I've been playing this shit for hours. And it's still full. You know what I mean? I couldn't even tell you the last time I actually, you know, literally played, you know, for hours and noticed that my battery level on my Switch went down just a teeny bit. And you can see that it went down just a little bit. You know what I mean? And, you know, this thing right here runs like a champion forever. So I'm not even going to count that. My PSP ran for about an hour and a half, and that one died. And my DS ran for about an hour, and it died. You know, so, you know, are these consoles that you see right here, you know, the way to go? If you like handhelds, I can honestly tell you from reviewing games, reviewing consoles, you know, I mean, you can see, you know, the man cave is always lit with consoles and games. I will tell you right now, you know, my pick as far as the consoles, first, always going to be first. I would say that this is damn near, you know, I mean, a close first, but it's a second. You know what I mean? I would honestly tell you if we were throwing in the gamepad for the Wii U, I would hit that one third. And I think that what throws me off on the Rogue Ally is the battery. You know what I mean? Overall, man, this was a journey on its own, because I said 3 videos ago that I was not going to fuck with with handhelds. I have them. They're all over. I have them. Do I think that they're, you know, the way that people, you know, would go, with the exception of the Switch? Because the Switch, I know people who take the Switch everywhere. I mean, I got actual Nintendo Switch bags that carriers for this. And let me tell you, this goes everywhere. Everyone who has a Switch takes their Switch everywhere. You know what I mean? You know, the PS Portal now with the Wi-Fi availability and also with the streaming, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be in someone's bag, and people are going to start taking, you know, their Portal everywhere. Because of the fact that there's nothing more than, you know, again, some really ridiculous good games. You know, it's basically, it's really by choice, you know, what you like and what kind of games you like and what kind of games you want to actually take with you. The PSP is still one of my favorite consoles, handheld consoles. Has a lot of, you know, when you look at it, just a lot of nostalgia of what Sony put out, you know, in their heydays, you know what I mean? And then if you look at, you know, this guy right here, I mean, overall, I'm not saying it's a bad handheld. I just think that the battery, honestly, guys, it just didn't work for me, man. And this is brand new. This is not a used, you know, console. This is brand new. Yeah, I mean, so, you know, could it be just that Genshin is just too big of a game to, you know, power it through for 2-3 hours? Maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? But, you know, testing a couple of games, you know, should not kill your battery within, you know, 30, 40 minutes. It just shouldn't. You know what I mean? And that was literally a letdown, very disappointed. But, you know, I did download a couple of, you know, different games. Like I said, I downloaded Stalker and a couple other games. And I'm going to try, once again, once this, you know, finishes charging, you know what I mean, it's at 100%. I'm going to give that a shot again and see whether or not, you know, this is something that, you know, is going to work. You know what I mean? Something that I can actually recommend. I mean, if you want power, you know, in a handheld, this has got power in a handheld. If you want to use it as a PC, another thing that I like, you know, is just going over and, you know, being able to exit out and you have yourself a PC, you know what I mean? If that's what you want, you know what I mean? To be honest, if you're going to be worried, if you're going to be that person that says, I want a PC game, just go buy an actual PC, you know, gaming computer or a gaming laptop. Don't even waste your time with this. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, you waste your time with this, you're literally getting less power in here than you could if you got an actual PC. that's virtually for gaming. So, again, I mean, I recommend it. It's a great system. I do not like that I had to plug it in, you know what I mean, to even be able to finish the game that I was even playing. Do not like that at all. I do like the setup, the mouse, the keyboard. I mean, obviously, being able to add, the white, Xbox controller to it. Again, everything is set up the way that you would want to play it. I like playing it on here. This is a 4K Samsung monitor for a gaming monitor. It looks ridiculously nice on here. But again, the question was, which one was the better handheld console? And this one right here did not hold up its side of, basically it didn't hold up $700, man, $600, $500, whatever the hell it's worth now. Yeah, I mean, I've seen them online, for crazy prices. Yeah, I mean, but this just didn't hold up for me. These two consoles right now are sort of my pick for what it is that I think consoles should be. It's the same thing when people ask me about, regular consoles. What consoles do I think are better than the other? Is the Series X better than the PlayStation 5? Is the 360, better than the, PlayStation 4? Is the original, Xbox, better than, the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 3? I mean, there's always questions, right? I mean, you see all the games, you see what I play, you see what I test. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I look at every console that I look at and that I test and that I play as being something different, right? And what I mean by that is that every game is going to play different, even if it's on 5 different consoles. Yeah, I mean, back in the actual Sega and Nintendo days, Sega and Nintendo used to battle it out for what games they put out. They used to put out, you know what I mean? I'll give you a perfect example, Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? Mortal Kombat for Nintendo, when you played it, there was no blood. Yeah, I mean, Sega, yeah, I mean, you can turn it on and off, so you can have blood or not blood in the game. They had, Nintendo had characters that Sega didn't have. It was just, that was the way that the business was. Yeah, I mean, and, moving up from console and generations over, yeah, I mean, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. The PS5 version of a lot of games are different from the Series X version of the games. And that is just to, basically to tailor to, people's, wants when it comes to video game consoles. So, again, the same thing goes for the handhelds. I'm hoping that, I have high hopes that the Switch 2 is going to be what it is. This screen is beautiful. The Nintendo Switch 2 is supposed to have a 7-inch screen, a little bit over 7-inch screen. It's not going to be OLED, which is all right with me because, they tested the pixelation on the LCD screen that it's going to have. And it's amazing, to be able to play games at 1080p versus 720, 120 FPS. Yeah, it just, to be able to play like, Metroid and all that and, in 1080p and, 120 FPS is insane. It's insane, guys. But, again, I'm a big Nintendo fan. I think Nintendo's got a product that just cannot be beat. Keep in mind that this bad boy, not the OLED, but the original Nintendo Switch was on the market for 9 years, guys. 9 years. 9 years, and they outsold all of these companies here making games, Sony and Microsoft. So, people can talk shit that the Switch is not as powerful. It doesn't have the best games, stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, the maths, man. And Nintendo is, and I think for me, will always be the better console. But I'm going to tell you this. My last video I made, I literally said that, the Portal is back alive. I thought the Portal was dead. With this edition, it is crazy. And I'm loving it. And, once again, I love that you can actually, when you hit the PlayStation button, you can actually close the game. Look at this. And it takes you right back to the cloud streaming. I've been killing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. Man, that's just an awesome game. But once again, this is what I wanted really to tell you, because I really, really looked into this, and I can tell you, man, I'm a mess. It is probably closer to 9 a.m. already. I am about ready to crash for a while. I just figured that I'll let you guys know how all of this went. And like I said, man, my opinion, Switch 1, Portal 2. I'm not going to count the Wii U, obviously, and I would say that the Rogue Ally would be 3. Again, I can't mess with the battery thing. The battery issue to me was a really, really big deal. But maybe that's something that an update can fix, or maybe, and keep in mind that I did go into the settings and change it. I had it on turbo mode, then I did it in performance mode. I changed a few things to see if it'll last me a little bit longer. And because I had to do that, I just gave up on the system and I jumped back on the Nintendo Switch. And that's a bad thing. When you have to get off of a powerful system to jump on a Nintendo Switch, that's a problem. You know what I mean? For that console, that's a problem. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, this is pretty much, everything in a, basically in a small package here, man, because man, oh man, listen, this shit right here, guys, if you don't have a Portal and you want something that's portable, something that you can connect, stream games, stuff like that, definitely pick up a Portal. Don't there are all these people who are selling Portals for $350 now because you can cloud stream. Bro, you send them a message, bro. Get real, bro. Stop fucking trying to fuck people out of their money. Yeah, I mean, the Portal is not worth over $200. I don't give a shit that it's got cloud streaming. This is a $150, handheld, $200 brand new, if that you could get it brand new. Yeah, I mean, and these people who go and sell shit on Facebook, listen, I don't knock anybody's hustle, but make it clean. Do clean business, because you know what? $300 for a Portal, that's highway robbery, bro. Highway robbery. I would not buy that at $300. This at $200, $150. Yes, $300 is overkill, man. And nobody should be, people who would sell it for that much should be ashamed of themselves. I can't say no more about the Nintendo. Nintendo still sells for $300 brand new, but you also can find used consoles for about $200. I'm really big about my screens not having scratches on them. So if you're going to buy one brand new and go with the OLED display. Obviously, the display is a little bit bigger, better power, looks a lot better than the original. I like the OLED one over the original. And if you're going to go with something like this, I would honestly tell everybody, take a moment to do your homework. This is a lot involvement. And unless you are hardcore on downloading BIOS and games and file folders and all that bullshit, and you want to use emulators, that's probably where this becomes a decent console. Cloud streaming, that does work. That's okay. It works fine. Once again, though, because of the battery, you would have to be somewhere where you can plug in the console and play it with your console plugged in. And I don't like that. I want to be able to play 2 or 3 hours, on a game, what I'm saying, and not have to plug it in. I could do that all day with my Switch, and I could do it all day with the Portal so far. So this right here, for me, the biggest failure was the battery, the performance on it. But, even changing all the shit in the middle, performance modes, that turbo shit, and changing this and changing that, it's still the battery was not as great. And it was definitely a disappointment. So hopefully they get that fixed, and we can throw a game on there, and the game will work 100%. It'll work awesome. That would be, that would be great. But as always, guys, welcome to the Man Cave. Definitely appreciate you stopping by. I am a hot mess, and it is time for me to give up on these consoles. I've already played enough on this. I think that these consoles are tired of me, groping them. You know what I mean? You know, let me not say that word. That's a bad word. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean, guys. You know, fucking with this shit is it's hard to put it down once you get started. You know what I mean? Because of the gameplay and the way, you know, the way that it is. Just such a good game. Such a good, you know, good game, good system. Love it. You know what I mean? Guys, as always, thank you for stopping through. I appreciate it. You know, and you know, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. All right, guys. Now, one thing I want to remind you guys of. You want a good game, retro style games, newer, whatever, I have them. Visit my store. Don't forget, Tiago's Gamers Club on eBay. I have a second store, Tiago's Books and Collectibles. There's going to be tons of books, like RPG books, Dungeons and Dragons, DC role-playing games, Marvel role-playing games, a bunch of books dating back into the late 70s, going over, you know, I mean, centuries, bro. Not centuries, decades. You know what I mean? It's late for me, probably early for you. And you know, as always, I've been saying this now, you know, going in every video, guys. Come on, let's get those subscriptions going, man. Subscribe, you know what I mean? And I will tell you this. The 50th person to subscribe to my channel, I am giving away this bad boy. Very clean copy of the Maximum Carnage, obviously cleaned, tested, you know, and that 50th subscription will get this sent to them. Okay? Now, this is part of a collection, but I know that, you know, like I said, for me, you'll never hear me tell you to buy this or buy that or check out merchandise and shirts and t-shirts and all that shit. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to be able to talk to you about, you know, games, consoles, you know what I mean, and give you my review and my opinion on what I think some of these things are, you know, when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to what I think is, you know, basically, you know, a better console or what may be fit for you versus someone else, right? Because that's what all of this is. All of this is about, you know, testing and seeing what would work for you as far as a gamer is concerned. What, you know, what your child would play, what would be suited for a child, what is more for like me and you. You know, there's a reason why I only have these videos uploaded for adults and not kids. You know, but once again, guys, appreciate it. Stop by, check out my videos, man. Like, share, subscribe. And like I said, the 50th subscriber will get Maximum Carnage. You know what I mean? This is actually out of my personal collection. And, you know, it has been clean and tested. So it works. You know, for those out there who who basically are Super Nintendo fans, this is good. This is good. So yeah, guys, you know what to do, man. You know what I mean? And hit that bell. Make sure that, you know, you get alerted on all the videos that I upload. I'm going to be doing a lot more. You know what I mean? And as always, guys, as always, you know what I mean? Love, respect, care for one another. You know that we need that in this world today. And also, as everything you may be going through, whether it's bad, you know, and or good, whatever it is, yeah, I mean, and you guys are feeling low and you're going through all the stuff that you know, common people, you, me, everyone else, you know what I mean, go through. Always remember, guys, God is good. God is good, guys. Peace.